This video is being shown to you under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Hit the like button. Let's go. Welcome, Survivor Nation. It is your girl Survivor Speaks, and we had a exciting show on today. So our special guest is the lovely Miss Empress Fox. So let me I want to introduce Miss Fox correctly. All right. Miss Fox spearheaded the peaceful protests for the YSL trial. She drove 12 hours from Chicago to the court to get to the courthouse in Fulton County to represent for the men that was on trial that had lost so much time away from their children, families, and everything like that. There were days like she had a nice group of people out there with her, but then she was out there by her lonely people out there with a sign like I'm still here, so I'm here and I'm protesting. That's great character, right? So she's an advocate. She's truly invested in making a difference, whether she's standing alone or backed by an army of support. So, without further ado, let's welcome to the platform Miss Empress Fox. Yay! Oh, let me turn my camera. Wait a minute. What I do? Oh, you know what? I know what I did, Empress. Hey, Empress.
Hey,
you hear me okay?
How would you say? Yeah, I hear you. It's a little.
Hear you?
Mm-hmm.
What's going on? I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
What's going on?
Can you hear me? You can hear me?
I can't hear you. Is it me? No, I can't hear you. Is your volume up? Let me see.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. It's all the way up over here. They're not going to start. They did this last time we got together. Give me a minute to just speak to the man up above now. Come on now. You're blurring out, and I can't hear you. Empress, go out and come back in, please. And if you're here watching from the bushes, please hit the like button, hit the like button while we try to work out some difficulties here. She was here, but I couldn't hear her. Don't know what's going on with that. And this is the second time that let's see, Empress, let's see. Hello?
Mike.
I see you, but I can't hear you. Let me see. Yeah, my mic thing is going up. Talk, Empress, talk.
Yes. Can you hear me now?
I don't know what happened. Like, I see the mic moving when I talk, but it's supposed to move when you talk also, but it's not moving.
So
I don't know what's going on.
It's great.
Empress, like, we've been here before. We have. Like, what is going on? They don't want us to talk. They don't want us sisters to talk here. But we're gonna get it together because I'm not going for this. Hold on, let me see something. No, talk Empress, let me talk. Just talk.
Can you now? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Do
My
you have your
thing going.
volume turned up, Empress?
Yeah, it's going all
Because
the way
it's
up.
moving when you talk.
I don't know.
It's like when you talk, it's moving like, but I don't hear it. I don't hear anything. Can you hear me? Let me see something. Hold on a minute.
Yes, I hear
Let me
you loud
chat you.
and clear.
I sent you a message. Oh Lord, I spelled the name wrong. I meant to say Empress. Sorry about the
Yes,
typo. Can you hear me? You hear me good. I don't know why it's on your side, but when you talk, it's coming up like you're talking. It's just no sound though.
this.
Hi,
So,
Courtney. Welcome in. Welcome in. Is it Empress Wi-Fi? Courtney said, "Is it your Wi-Fi?"
um, uh,
Courtney said, "Is it your
all
Wi-Fi?"
bars. Courtney, hear
I can, I just Courtney, I just can't hear her. Um, but it's the volume is moving like
me?
they can tell her she's talking, but it's just not coming out. And Courtney, because you put a one in the chat if you can hear me, fine, please.
It says I'm. She just texted me and said I'm lagging.
She's
Hold on. So I have.
you on your phone, Empress?
Yes.
She like, well, I don't. She like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Can you read the chat? Oh, you can hear her? Courtney. She said you're lagging every other word. Because this is me talking now, Courtney. I can't hear her at all. Oh, okay. You hear me loud and clear, Empress. Um, Courtney said that you're lagging, like every other word she hears. That you're lagging, but I can't hear you at all. Yeah, she did. Courtney, thank you so much for providing the update. And when she comes back in, if and tries it again, just let me know if yeah. So she went out on Courtney, and she's gonna come back in. So when she comes back in, if you don't mind, letting us know whether or not you can hear her or not, that would be helpful. And we're grateful that you're here to help us through this these technical difficulties that we are experiencing. So yeah, today we're going to talk about some things. We want to talk about some things, getting to the YSL trial. As you know, there are two, and thank you, Courtney. There are two defendants that are still on trial right now. Yak Gotti and Shannon Jackson Stillwell, whichever last name they're using for whatever whatever person that is on the stand that is testifying about in this case, because today was just on another level. I know that Max Shart is going to be cooking next week. He's going to be cooking. The judge even realized Max Shart's strategy. He admitted to it. That's just if the state is foolish enough to keep playing around. Um, let's see. Let's see. You look like you're there. It looked
Hello.
like you before. Now talk.
Can you hear me?
I don't hear you. Courtney, can you?
Oh my god.
I'm sorry. Courtney, can you hear Empress? Because she said that she was hearing you like every other word, but I
Can you?
don't hear you at all.
Am I better?
This is mind blowing.
I don't know. I have full green bar.
We're gonna get through this because we got some things to talk about. Because today pissed me off, further pissed me off today. Today's trial day. His last name is oh yeah. She said she can hear you, but I can't hear you. What in the world? She said that she can hear you.
Okay.
But I can't hear you.
You can't hear me at all.
She said, Courtney's saying that you're better now. Thank you, Courtney, for keeping us. I don't know what's going on. Maybe I should leave and come back. I don't know.
Does that restart the show? She can't even hear me. I was about to ask this.
I'm gonna leave and come back. Just stay right there,
okay.
Empress. Let me leave and come back. Cause I don't know. She said she hears you fine, but
Hi everybody. We're just waiting. Technical difficulties. We'll be back shortly, figuring it out. Figuring it out. Courtney said, "Is it your headphones?" I don't know if she sees that or not. Can you hear me now? We good?
I don't know.
Can you hear me?
Talk, Empress.
Yo.
I don't know why I'm not able to hear you. This is so beat up because Courtney hears you fine, but I can't hear you.
She said, "Is it your headphones?"
Maybe it is. Let me unplug and see if that is the case. But you know what? So now I have to. Which one is this plugged into? Oh yeah, let me try this. Empress, can you hear me? Empress, can you talk?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, I can hear you now. Thank you so much, Courtney. You are
Courtney's a real one.
you are such a treasure, Courtney. Thank you for helping us with the troubleshooting. Because I was getting ready to say no, they don't want us doing this. Like, don't do that. Everybody that's here, can you hit that
Right.
like button, please? And so, Empress,
Yes.
I did introduce you to the people, about the protest, the first peaceful protest that you spearheaded and you put together, and it was a beautiful thing. And I just want the people to know, for someone to be like truly invested in justice the way that Empress is she's such a phenomenal woman. She was out there with a group of people. She was out there by herself with a sign.
And then so, one of the other few times that I was out there, I think it was like 2 or 3 times prior to that. A couple times he was out there with me.
Who?
Courtney, the one that's in the chat.
Courtney
right now, was out there with me. Yes, those times. Courtney. I was out there by myself. I wasn't. She was there with me.
So okay.
I always give her a chops because people always say I was out there by myself. Now some periods I was, but she was out there the first day. She came down and stood out there with me. And
that's good to know. And I'm so happy because people don't even realize, even though this case is such it's crazy, it has brought people together from all walks of life, all nationalities, all professions,
politics, everything. Saw the injustice in this case.
Everything. I have lawyers that I use, but I never had lawyers that just respond and interact with you, and it's a beautiful thing, and everybody can basically see, everybody except the people that in Fulton County, we basically can see what's going on, and we're not falling for the banana in our tailpipe.
No.
That's just the way that goes. Like,
Did you
we're listening to the
press conference
trial.
today? Did you see the press conference today? They happened back to back.
I did. Oh, so I do have the documents for the investigation that's going on in Rice
Yeah,
Street.
nice,
So
lovely.
yeah, I did. There was an article, and then you can click on it and get the documents. It's like, I think it's a 97 or 197 page document. So I have not dug into it yet, but that is something that I'm very interested in, because I told you the last time we talked that some of those conditions in the jail,
Mm-hmm.
as an officer, you have to be saying, listen, because even though you may not be sleeping there, the
Mm-hmm.
jails don't have a lot of insulation. And
Mm-hmm.
so stuff is just like, everything is just flowing in house. Your
Right.
officer, you are in there, you are inhaling, consuming whatever it is that's being put out there in the air. It
Mm-hmm.
falls on you too. So that's why I'm saying that something has to give. And I know that, like I told you before, when it comes to things like a pipe may need fixing, or plumbing needs to be done, or electrician needs to come in, that's one thing. But the cleanliness of the jail is on the officers that work there.
And they just got $300 million, if I'm not
For
mistaken. That's what I heard
what?
today. I guess I don't know if that was the response, because the sheriff, I don't know if the sheriff, but the whoever's over the Fulton County jail came out and he was just like, "We don't need a new jail. We just have some things that we could fix."
I'm interested to see inside Rice Street if they have old bars, or if they have pods with doors that pull out. If they have like bars, that means they're in an old barbaric jail that has just been going on forever.
I've never.
Most
I wonder.
Yeah, most jails, they either renovate or add on to the jail, and when they do, they're not using those bars anymore. I would like to really see what the inside layout looks like on one of the housing areas. I would definitely like to see that. But like I said, that goes back to the cleanliness in the jail. Falls on the officers as well, because you have to make sure that this stuff gets done, stuff is clean. Like, because I don't want to be. I'm already in here locked in, so I don't want that. So like I told you, where I used to work, where I was a correction officer at, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not going to go as far to say I'm not eating nothing off nobody's floor, but that's how clean it was where I was.
I
We
was
didn't
gonna
play that.
say, quite a few jails and prisons more so, I guess, their starts on the cleanliness. Like, you have to get up, you got to make sure your bed is made, almost like military. And I think that um if the responsibility is, this is where you're going to be for X number of days, months, years, right? You should have to keep
Mm-hmm.
it. There has to be some co-responsibility. Even the guards, I'm not saying that they have to clean, but there should be some sort of like clockwork. Like, it has to. And we have to think again, like you said, we don't know if Rice Street is one of the older ones, because in some of the places they do have those older jails, right, where they're not up to date. But when I heard the actual conditions, I was mortified. I was
Um, even in so I told you that we
Because
had
why
two
would
jails.
own cells together, right? If they have all this money, where's the money for the supplies to this, to that? I understand there's certain things that can't come in, chemicals and all that, because whatever, but it's like something has.
Okay, so let's take a step back, Empress, and we have to think about. Remember, or was it 4 or 5 months ago? Those officers that were working and on Wright Street. Remember, they walked out because they weren't being
Yeah,
paid.
yeah,
So,
I
where is
remember.
the money from there? Let's not even talk about the $3 million that they
Where does the
just
money
get.
that will come from? Where does that come from?
Um, so it comes from a lot of different places. Like each
You know,
inmate, for them.
follow the money trail. So I was like, where's that? Just like they just said on the press conference today about the hundreds of millions of dollars that they're giving them now. And then the guy goes, well, we're not going to build a new jail. We could just fix what we have. And it's like,
They
I
need
don't,
to put somebody over that to make sure that they see, see that money is being used for what it's for.
I think
Because if the
Department of
jail,
Justice may do that. I think they may end up having some sort of oversight committee because they came down on them kind of hard. And I don't know if they came down on them because the past couple years people have been speaking more about it, but it seems like this has been a problem for a long time.
but
And
they
not
said But they said that the DOJ had just left there like not too long ago. They had did an investigation. So as soon as they leave, if they're
right,
going to keep doing the same thing, then
right. I was going to say this
um,
investigation was from last July until recent, so it's
you
like
know,
it's been a year and a half.
yeah, you know what I'm going. There is like a breakdown somewhere at this jail. There is a breakdown where. I'm not sure how much those correction officers are making working there, but a lot of times you may get somebody that's like, well, hey, this is the only money that I'm making. Like, so I don't care about these inmates. I'm gonna let them do what they want to do. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just gonna lock myself here in this cage, and it's a free for all for everybody. That's dangerous. That's
Mm-hmm.
dangerous for the inmates. That are there, or that's a dangerous situation. Um, you have to be present when
Right.
you're there,
Mm-hmm.
because if you run that those areas correctly, you won't even have to tell the inmates what to do because they already know. So
Yeah, that's
so
creating that structure. That's what I was saying. Yeah.
yeah. So this is how what like if I was to show up at work, we already know who the trustees are in the area. So we always let them out first because, believe it or not, corrections officers, um, trustees are corrections officers' second set of eyes,
Mm.
because they get a lot of more leeway than most of the other inmates. Sometimes they're out when some of the other inmates are locked in. And there has to be like a trust factor there.
Okay.
But you best believe that if you have trustees that have been there, maybe 5 6 months, even before that, they
Mm-hmm.
know what their jobs are. And even if you forget, they're going to remind you, hey, we were supposed to be cleaning those shower walls today to see if we
Right.
can get that stuff off the wall. Like, they're going to tell you, they're going to come to you, and they're going to tell you. And the trustees also, what they do is, because they're the one that keep the pods clean,
Mm-hmm.
they go around in the pod to the other inmates like, no, this is not what you're doing. Like, just because we clean and mop and everything, you don't just get to come out here and be nasty like that. You want to be nasty, go in your room with that. But then somebody like me, if I'm walking around and your room is nasty, you get 4 hours locked in there. You got 4 hours to clean that up. You
Mm-hmm.
have to, because if not,
The
because
standard. Have to have.
it's I'm just from the most jails have horrible ventilation now to none. So you have to. So that part is on them. But the other parts, like I said, that need plumbing and other things like that, that is definitely on. I don't know if they have a warden over the jail, but they should. That
Mm-hmm.
is definitely something that should be talked about. And then another thing, I'm wondering if they even have like sergeants or lieutenants that come around and look at these areas every day that we worked. We would
Mm-hmm.
have a sergeant and a lieutenant that was assigned to our areas, and
Courtney
they would
said
make rounds twice a day.
Courtney said they're paid through grants, taxpayer money, and it comes out of the county budget. If I,
Yeah, it does. But then you have to. So from what I understand, from when those officers, thank you for about that, Courtney. Hey, Nessa. Thank you for coming. Thank you so much. After class, hey girl, hey. Thank you so much for being over here for this conversation. I know that after class, I know Act class as Empress.
The sheriff is the warden over the county jail.
Yeah. I was going somewhere with that thought, but y'all, let me let y'all know in the comments right now. I'm a breast cancer survivor, 17 plus years. Sometimes I get chemo fog in it'll come back to me. Just don't pay it no mind. It'll come back to me. But yeah, I'm wondering because the officers that work at that jail, they are hired from a private company. So even though, like Courtney is saying, even though the state is paying them, they still work for this private company. And a lot of times when people work, like come through corrections through a private company, they don't hardly pay them. They pay them next to peanuts. So I'm wondering what their salaries are.
It's like a lot of them when you look at how much they get paid. So yeah,
I mean it's public knowledge. I didn't pull it up, but I'm not. I just know that it's not like the state is paying.
Right.
The budget comes from them, but these officers are hired from a private company, and they don't like to pay. But people have to understand that, like, every day that an officer walks into a jail to for their shift, they may not walk out, and that's just reality. That's just the reality of of some things, like the fact, like, they can make shanks out of anything. Anything they may have. You may go in their room and they have a toothbrush, and you like, okay. Some officers, I'm nosy, because nobody's gonna walk up behind me putting nothing to my neck. So they may have like their toothbrushes sitting there and stuff like that. Like, oh yeah, that's just my hygiene stuff. But yeah, you pull it out, they have the end of it, like, so they have something to throw it over. You pull it up and it's a shank. They have sharpened the end of a toothbrush, right, and they will shank somebody with that. Yeah. Let me tell you something. I told you last time we talked that there are a lot of inmates that are incarcerated. Are some of the most talented people that I have ever came in contact with in my life.
Sure.
And they do. It's like walking into a different world. Like the first day, imagine me. I'm in khakis. So now we're going around, and I'm just like, it's milk in the toilet, and they was laughing at me. That's like, oh, that's how they keep their milk cold. So you're coming from it's like, you had to live two different lives. I go to work, I need to put on this hat because I'm locked up for 8 hours. The only difference, or 16, I go home. Other than that, it's just the world is just a different world inside of there. So I wanted to let's get into. I do have a question for you. I want you to clarify something for me, because I think I'm just a little confused about it. So if anybody else in the chat is wondering the same thing, so Lil Rod, right? I know that he unalived the person when he was 15.
You can't say that, allegedly.
Allegedly. So alleged. Everything is alleged. I'm sorry. Allegedly. But what I'm confused about, and maybe you can help me with this, what he was missing at the age of 11.
I can't help you with that.
Yeah, so that's what's that was throwing me off, like, because I'm just like, okay. I had came across a video. He was sitting in the back seat of a car, and he looked like he couldn't have been no more than 6 or 7 at the time. And somebody just put together a video, and they were saying that he was abducted when he was 11. So I'm like, wait a minute, did he allegedly unalive somebody when he was 11? So no, it's 15. But I want to know the story about when he was 11 and he was allegedly abducted. That's what, because it's just like it's just not clear to me. And I know I probably can ask Cassie, maybe she knows, but I was, when preparing for this, I was like, let me ask Empress if she knows what happened when he was 11. Who in the heck abducted him when he was 11? We'll find that out. That's another thing.
So, his girlfriend, I sent you a message, and so his girlfriend is actually in the chat, and she's answering the question for you.
Okay, what's her? Is that
Says Low Lux Styles.
Oh, okay.
So I sent you the message earlier. I don't know if you got
I didn't even. I didn't. Okay, Low Lux Styles. Hi, how are you, hon? He wasn't missing. Okay, he was at his friend's house.
His brother can come on the live if you like, and he can tell you the story.
Sure, if he's in the chat.
1 second. They're texting me right now. Give me 1 second. That's why I was trying to get a hold of you before we got on.
Oh wow! You know what? I was running right up to the minute. Yeah, I had to go get my daughter, and then.
No worries, no worries.
But this just bothers me so bad because, and Low Lux, correct me if I'm wrong. He didn't know. From what I understand, Lil Rod didn't know.
Would you like me to send them the link? That way they can.
Yeah, sure. You got the link, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you should be able to. They could come up. But yeah, I'll ask them that when they come up. But
I can talk about is the fundraiser and what and why we're doing the fundraiser. Anything else out of my wheelhouse on that subject? One moment.
All right. So yeah, I was going to get. That was the next thing that I was going to get to. How's it going on that and if people wanted to help, like to donate funds, where would they send the funds?
Okay, so we just adjusted everything, and we have it's called Give, Send, Go, because we were using GoFundMe originally, and then you ended up using a different source, but we have finalized the Give, Send, Go, and I can drop that in the chat if you'd like me to.
Yeah, well, sure.
Story so that people can understand exactly what's taking place. We put together a Twitter account or X account, Justice Rod, and we'll be updating it as the court case gets a little, or the appeal rather, goes on. Right now, there's other things going on behind the scenes, but it's not a lot to talk about besides clearing up some things. And I think that they're going to come up and clear it up as well, because a lot of people are confused on what or they saw the appeal and they saw Steele doing Blaylock and thought Steele was his attorney. Just a lot of different things that they'll be able to clear up. But
yeah, I knew Steele wasn't when he went to court for Blaylock.
It's many pieces to the puzzle, but they'll be able to more so explain that to you. But in essence, the lawyer is for when the appeal does come up and they end up going to court. So he needs a lawyer for that portion so that people can better understand why we're raising the fine.
Yeah, I watched that that hearing with Steele for Blaylock. I watched that, so I mean, I think it went well for him. I don't know if you saw it, but I think that it went well for him because Steele didn't even really have to say too much, and it was the judge's reaction was, what I went by, and they were asking the DA. The way those judges was asking him questions, it's not looking good for the state. Because I'm telling you that Steele didn't even really have to say much. What he said was enough for those judges to say, wait a minute. And they brought those young ladies back. He did bring those young ladies up as well in that hearing. When she was on the stand, we could tell she was not being honest.
It was clear she was lying. It was obvious.
She was, yeah. He was taking you to get marijuana across the street. Y'all was driving across the street, and then she said that the Blaylock guy had allegedly assaulted her, but she only said it once, and she would not repeat it again. It's too late. It's out there. That's what you said. She kind of said it real fast and ran past it. So that was before they were going to get the supposed weed that they needed to drive across the street to get. I just was like, okay, she's lying. Like, y'all can't, we all in here like going crazy. Like, she's lying.
Mm-hmm.
But in a way, I'm glad that, and I'll ask them this if you don't know, because they said that Lil Rod really didn't know Jeffrey. I think he was young at the time.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't really know him like that. But for me, I like to look at things from both sides of the coin.
Mm-hmm.
And even though they tried to bring him here, like to garner some sympathy from the jury, because that's all that was.
Mm-hmm.
I think it worked out well for Lil Rod because the girl had to come here and testify. And she's testifying to the same thing she testified to in Lil Rod's in the court case, and clearly she lied.
Mm-hmm.
Now, why would this boy's mother? So the boys locked you in the basement. You ain't have no cell phone. Her words, not mine. This is her on the stand. She didn't have any cell phone. The mother comes home and the mother's going off. The mother comes, opens the door to the basement. She said the mother goes off on her and locks her back in the basement. What? So she goes to the basement and she starts feeling around, and she felt a cell phone through whatever she was rubbing on.
Mm-hmm.
And she called her mother from that cell phone. What? I have so many questions and problems with this story, but I think that it worked out for Lil Rod because, like I said, you testifying in this case, you're not testifying to some of the things you said in the last trial. It would be one thing if it's like was a little off, but no, you were way off. And these stories, I don't know if Hilton and Love and them didn't train you well enough, but oh well, you lied. Now, should they go and arrest her for lying? Because the story didn't make sense at all. But yeah, should they go and arrest her now? They should, because that's perjury when you get on the stand and you lie about somebody, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it is just crazy. So until she's a pretty good liar, Lolux said. Lolux said she's a pretty good liar. Yeah, we Lolux, we saw it. We definitely picked up on it when she got on the stand, and because I was trying to figure out, like, when she got on the stand, why is she so aggressive when it came to the defense cross-examining her? She was a little aggressive, like with her tone, and I'm like, what you got an attitude for? Like, I was just like, wait, why does she have an attitude? Because she's lying. And when she's, continuing with her testimony, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I said that this girl is not telling the truth. She's lying. And so I think it's, it's good for him and Blaylock. I'm just gonna get the information that you give me. I am going to see if I can send it to the guy. I grew up with the guy that owns the he was locked up as a juvenile.
Mm-hmm.
And so he came out of jail, and now he has a company, and it's called F Prison. It's F *CK Prison. I'm going to send the information to him and see, what he's about. If he can, pretty much, give you guys some help. And if he responds and says yes, then I'll just give you the information to, like, talk to him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I want to see what, because he's always, like, going out for those reasons, and he should be able to relate because he was locked up as a juvenile. They had initially gave him. Did they give him life? I forgot how many years he did right now, but he got out. And so now he's built this like multi-million-dollar company. Like he does a lot of club hostings and stuff like that. Like I say, he has the whole F prison um line that he's had since he's been out of jail. And his son had gotten arrested. But thank goodness he was able to come home. And he kind of took him under his wing to teach him. I already did all of this. You don't have to do any of this stuff. This is legit. I'm about to set you up to be in the space where you don't need to, deal with, all these different people. And so yeah, I am going to contact him and see what he says.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, I it broke my heart. It really, really broke my heart to see. And I don't know if people are really paying attention, but you can't tell me anything different. It broke my heart to see them take Rod in that Lil Rod in that back room and say that he had drugs on him. And it's like what? It was like 5 people surrounding him in that room. Like you can't. I'm imagining that he felt like a caged animal. He's already incarcerated, so now y'all here, doing all of this unnecessary stuff. And it broke my heart. And they tried to make it seem like because he was screaming so loud that they could hear in the courtroom.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care whether or not they got it on the camera. I worked in the Department of Corrections, and I know that y'all know how to hurt a inmate without showing it to the world. Because why would he be screaming like that? That broke me down that whole day. I saw it. Somebody posted the video, and I saw it, and I just was like, what is going on? So Empress, I don't know what happened. She'll be back. So yeah, Courtney, you said you think she's a pretty good liar. Yeah, of course. You nobody had to tell us anything. Like nobody had to prep anybody to say anything. Like we were watching the trial, and we were just like, she's lying. Like straight up, she's lying. So if we could do the best that we could, you can. I'm gonna try to, like I said, reach out to Sean. His name is Sean. I'm gonna try and reach out to Sean and see if this is a cause that he would like to, be behind, because he's been in that same spot. He's been in the same spot, and so I'm gonna reach out to him. I was supposed to be interviewing him, but I that was maybe like 2 months ago. But I'll reach out to him about this to see if he can like throw something behind it, because it's only right. It's like I just feel so bad. I want to talk to you about today. Viverito. Viverito on the stand.
Like been like this, so I apologize.
No. I got you. I know. I saw your message yesterday. I was like, oh wow, that just sucked. Viverito pissed me off so bad today, and I know that Max has a strategy that he's using, and the judge picked up on it. It's just the fools that's sitting over there at the other table. Y'all haven't picked up on it yet. So there's a lot of things that, yep, I'm gonna see what if I can give him the tap in, Courtney. So there's a lot of So Viverito on the stand today, right? When Neighbor did her, she said she didn't have any notes, because most of the officers, quote unquote, lost their notes. There's no notes, no report, like nothing. But it was a whole big mystery that you got on the stand today and you was referring to your notes.
I don't know what is.
Yeah, I don't know. You're going in and out. She was referring to her notes, and I'm just like, wait a minute. I thought you didn't have any of your notes. So I just, this whole thing is just crazy. And so the video that I hear you, but yeah, your video is graining a little bit, but I can hear you a little bit. No, okay, so yeah, I hear you fine, but it's just that your picture's a little blurry. Um,
I'm, I'm
yeah, I can hear you. I just can't. We can't see you. So I know that that Max has a strategy that he's going by. If people are paying attention, he's not really um he's not requesting a mistrial. I think they did it once since it has just been Yak and Shannon in the courtroom. But he's not really asking for a mistrial. Now, if you are listening, he'll say something just to make sure that it's on the record. But then he'll say, you know what, I'll clean it up when I do my cross. He is going to fry Viverito on that stand. He's going to fry her. And I hope that she's ready because, what happened?
bushes on Cleveland.
Girl, she's in the bushes. She said that she be in the bushes out there on Cleveland. What I don't like about her, and this turn, goes right into Love's opening statement. These men are men. They're somebody's brother. They're somebody's father. They're somebody's significant other. They may be somebody's husband. They are people. I don't understand how people that are supposed to have so many years experience and you're the lead DA on a case, and that I guess that everybody else is just slow and stupid and we're not paying attention, or you just think that this is above us. But why do you refer to these men the same way that you will refer to animals in a jungle? I'm confused about that one. And just because you're not coming right out and saying that like that, that is what they're implying. So Love said it in her opening statement, and then Viverito said that, yeah, she goes into the bushes and watches them in their habitat. That is what they normally say about animals. Lady, who are you talking about? Anybody's freedom could be snatched from them for any reason. You just never know. But the whole thing with this case is because they wanted a RICO, because they wanted Jeffrey Williams, y'all made this into a RICO case. What I can't understand and what I'll never be able to get with is that they're trying to take every crime that ever happened in Atlanta and put it under the guise of, this is happening furtherance of the game for YSL. Today, I didn't know if they had YSL on the stand or YFN on the stand, because most of the responses that we got today was about YFN. So is YFN on trial or YSL on trial? Yeah, Courtney, I cannot wait. When I tell you Max was over there, like his adrenaline, you can see his adrenaline running. Max is going to tear her to shreds on this stand. And everything that it all sounds so nice when they're putting it together, when they're on the stand, when they're first questioning them. everything's coming out oh so well. Everything's coming out correctly until they get Matt Sharp up there. Every witness that has gotten on that stand, Max has to get up there and defend Stillwell. And it's disheartening to see that we are sitting in here watching the same videos that you guys are showing in the courtroom, right? We're not stupid. So when Stillwell left out of that BP station, Drinks was ahead. They went past him. The car that turned around, there was a third car that they don't want to talk about. But one person talked about it and said, oh, this person must have saw what was going on, so he busted a U-turn. Y'all never checked into that to see what it was, because after Shannon went past Drink's car, Drinks stepped on the brake and the car moved a little bit. But it was once that third car came up, he didn't move anymore. And if you go back and rewind and look at the video, you will see the same thing. So this third car that they refuse to talk about, that they never checked out, we are sitting we're like, virtual jurors, and we could see that Stillwell's car went past Jamari Drinks. And the other car that Nichols was in went past. It was that third car that, busted a U-turn. That's another thing, Courtney. Where is the guy that was in the car with Drinks? They did not look at Drinks, his cell phone. They didn't look through his cell phone to see what they can get possibly from that. So y'all did a half ASS job, and you have all of these men's lives in the palm of your hand. You're trying to give these men 60 years. What did Whitaker say? 60 years, and the other one I think is 40-something years. Yak, I think Shannon is like 60-something, and Yak is like 49 years. Like I've in a million years, I didn't think that I would ever, witness something, as bad as this. And at least if you do something, you try to clean it up and clean yourself up and come with the real evidence, because right now they don't have no evidence, because almost everything that they have been putting forth in front of this jury is either being torn down by the defense, or Judge Whitaker keeps making these what do they call it? Not a correction. What is it? What is the word? Y'all know what I'm looking for. The curative instruction. They're going to have so many curative instructions, they're not going to have anything to take back in the jury room to liberate on. They're not going to have anything. They're going to have a bunch of all this, forget this, and forget that. But the thing is, Hilton 100% knows that some of the stuff that she's saying and putting out here that she shouldn't be, but she's doing it because even if they get called on it, Whitaker has only offered one time to declare a mistrial, and that was without prejudice. Other than that, you just keep making these curative instructions. They're not going to have any evidence to deliberate on. So, I mean, that's just my thing. And now the jurors have an issue with the fact that they have been here so long and they don't like the way that the state is putting on this case. Have the state now there have been some crimes committed allegedly, could be true. But because you wanted to bring this RICO case, you you, you just start throwing everything in the pot. Everything in the pot. So if you've been paying attention, little Woody had brought out this you know what, Courtney? See, a lot of the arguments go on also outside of the presence of the jury. But even if if they are happening outside of the jury, those jurors have been here so long. What can you tell the jurors happened to the other defendants that was here this whole time and now they're just not in the courtroom anymore? You can't tell me. I know some of them went online and saw, oh, Doug is home. And the rest of them are, they're on the way home. But I think that they should be able, because that juror number 56 said he had wanted out. He didn't expect for it to be this long. He didn't like the way the state was putting on their case. And that's just that. But I do, Courtney, I do believe that they know that something isn't right. Even to the point where Whitaker may have been, I think, a little naive, like when it comes to the culture and and how things, are. She was really just trying to stand, like, to me, because she was assisting the state for a while too. I guess she got fed up with it. She still let some things slide every now and then, but like she has been, reading them the riot act. But at the same time, you're still not saying like, or declaring like, this is a mistrial or whatever. Anytime like, they ask, they have so many they I forgot what count, but we were keeping a count of how many times they motioned for mistrial. And the numbers are in the double digits. But I think at this point, Sharp is not looking to have the mistrial. They're going for the acquittal. So something was it yesterday? Something happened when he was on the stand, and he didn't. Not when he was on the stand. Excuse me. When a witness was on the stand, I think it was Sumlin, and the judge was expecting them, Sharp or Dog, to say objection, and they did not do that. So Whitaker looks at Sharp and says, "Is there a reason why you didn't object to that? Is that like a part of your strategy?" And he was like, "Yeah." Mm-hmm. You think that's what it is, Courtney? Yeah, yeah, it was everywhere. Like it would be, they can't even log into YouTube without seeing something about this trial. You can't. It's everywhere. My thing is, like I said, if they had like charges on individual people, charge them individually. But what happens here, and what seems to be the issue here, is that the people that committed these crimes that we are able to see and figure out from watching the trial, the people that committed these crimes is on the street. And you have the men locked up that it didn't, it's not adding up. The math is not mathing. So I just pray for Lil Rod. I'm thankful for Empress for being, for spearheading, the protests and, trying to help with, Lil Rod getting, funding for, appellate attorney. I congratulate her and I love everything that she's doing. Courtney, I didn't know until today. You are truly appreciated because I'm not in Georgia, right now. And I couldn't come to Georgia right now. So basically, like we're virtually just here, looking and, and watching. And I do believe that the protest that you guys had, the first one, it made a big difference. Regardless as to what anybody else is saying, it made a difference. It definitely did make a difference. And so, I always will give Empress her flowers. I don't like entertaining anybody that has something negative to say about anything another person is doing and you have not lifted a finger to do anything. So that's just, the way it is. My thing is, if the shoe was on the other foot, let's take Fanny foot. Let's talk about Fanny. Now, it's not something that's, as deep as what they're trying to, say about this case. But I just want to talk about how frantic she showed up for her daughter because she was getting arrested for driving while on the revoke list. You was there, you and Nathan Wade. So the same way you feel about your daughter getting ready to be arrested because she's driving on the revoke, which is something that probably is not going to, she's not going to get any jail time for that. But you feel comfortable with taking the lives of these men and you don't care. You're putting these labels on them and everything else. And then you're taking the fact that some of these, these guys, have been brought up in bad situations. And so they may not be as educated as you are. They may be more street smart. They may not be as educated as you are. But who are you to take advantage of them? How are they able to keep this trial going? This trial is about hearsay, emojis, and social media posts. I'm not even going to even say it's not even circumstantial. It's circumstantial evidence, but it's not related to the people that they have on trial. And that's the issue that I have a big problem with that. They don't. But I just want people to just, just let's make the comparison. Her daughter getting pulled over, getting ready to get arrested because she was driving on the revoke, and you there like, oh, like what's going, like you and with your boyfriend right behind you, the one you said you ain't go with no more. Now y'all all over the internet. But yeah, that's another story for another day. How do you think that these people feel? How do you think that Jeffrey Williams feels about? How do you think he feels about him having a legit record company? And you're turning it into, just a gang thing. The last time I checked, it's not against the law to be in a gang. The crimes are the problem when it comes to gang culture. But if you can't just go around here and start saying that everybody that's in a gang is bad. Let's go back. Take it back. Let's take it back. The Little Rascals was a gang. It may sound crazy, but it is what it is. The Little Rascals was a gang. Y'all gonna go and lock up Alfalfa in them? Even though we know they're grown and gone. But are y'all going to, because they called themselves a gang. So In the chat that I watched the trial on, Cat Not Williams, it's always over 3,000 and something people in the chat. And now we call ourselves the slime gang, slat, all that. I said they're coming to get us all. They're going to lock us all up. Because Cat, you over here running this gang, and they're going to lock us all up. She doesn't. Anybody that can sit on the stand that's supposed to be in such a high level, like her, I'm speechless. I know y'all hear me. I'm speechless because how do you go into the court of law, sit there with the neck rolling, in the figure pointing? It's just unprofessional all the way around. But everybody that I've seen that works in that establishment under her, they act just like her. Did you watch the Ashley Merchant trial when she sued them because they refused to give her records that she requested? And the supervisor that's over that department, I was sitting here like, what in the whole entire head? Like, first of all, who do you think you talking to? Talk like, why are you on the stand talking like that? And so they made a whole rule called the Ashley Merchant rule because they didn't want to give Ashley the Merchant the documents and stuff that she was requesting. Yeah, Courtney. Yeah, I thought I saw your name somewhere. Yeah, you know, then you slat. You slime. That's Clad over there. We got Mlat over there and it's Slat. We're gang over there. Are they going to come and arrest us? No. How could you? But what I don't like is how they took, and I knew this for a while about, Jeffrey Williams, professionally known as Young Thug. He's somebody that came from a place where he had nothing. He had nothing. And so, yeah, he did things to get by. He did. However, he became Young Thug. He blew up now, larger than, a lot of other people, would be able to. And he wants to help the community. And the help that he gave the community is another reason why he was a part of this trial. Because he decided that I'm going to buy these boys clothes, sneakers, make sure that they have, I'm going to employ them, give them a job, real employment. They used that against him. So that was the thing about when Sledge was on the stand, right? When Sledge was on the stand, he was trying to tell them that he wasn't the only one. He gave us a job. But if you went to a show with him and y'all went out of town, wherever, it could be a show in town, and you start cutting up and acting up, he said Jeffrey sent them home. Yup, Courtney. He said Jeffrey would send them home because he was telling them that they don't have to do that no more. So when Little Woody, when they played that phone call with Little Woody was on the phone, was it with Dolly or her sister? I believe it was Dolly. So this before they knew anything about like what Lil Woody was, doing behind the scene. Like they didn't know any of that. And he called, and I think his bell was like 1,500 because Dolly said she was going to meet his daughter's mother at the time and give her 700, and they would have to put the rest with it. And so what she said on the phone to Woody was, "You need to calm down. You need to get your SHIT together." And you hear Doug in the background say, "You ain't got to do that SHIT no more." When they first presented that phone call, of course, the state presented the phone call. Y'all lied and said that it said something else. That's not what it said. And Jeffrey Williams really didn't say anything on that call. He said that one thing. Woody was having a conversation with his sister. And it wasn't even nothing bad. They wasn't talking about what's going on and what's happening and none of that. But they told him he needed to get his stuff together. And they tried to flip that. So, it's just disheartening to see. Like it could be anybody. And what really bothers me also, I don't know, Courtney, if you heard about the story about Shane, the young man that was incarcerated for pow-powing his mom. This is YouTube. We can't say the other word. He pow-powed his mom, but he was autistic and he was diagnosed at a young age with mental illness. And I, you know what? I wish Empress wasn't having issues with her stuff, because I wanted to ask her, did she ever get in touch with the attorney that was handling that case? Yeah, no good deed goes unpunished. You're absolutely right. So Shane, he was incarcerated as a juvenile, but with all these issues. And so the father, tried to tell them he's mentally ill. He's also autistic. And Love, the Grinch, Love, made it her business to say there is nothing wrong with him. His family is lying. And somehow he was moved from juvenile to Wright Street. He was in a room with somebody. He started a fight with the person in the room because he didn't want to be in the room with him. This man has mental issues. It's understandable. So he's in a room by himself and they find him unresponsive. The nurse comes on the unit and they ask her to render aid to this human being. And you say no because your freaking knee hurts? Are you freaking kidding me? So this young man passed away thanks to Love. Love is always trying to, I think in Love's mind, everybody that you have a case about is lying about something that they're saying. I hope that Quandarius Zachary has already contacted an attorney to sue Fulton County, because he has a suit. He has a big lawsuit coming to him. I believe that she was. So the father, Shane's father, has filed. He filed the lawsuit against Fulton County, Love, the nurse. If your knee hurted, if your knee was hurting, and you know that this is a possible situation that you might have to tend to, because it didn't even have to just be this young man because he had mental issues, and he, and being autistic on top of that. Like, there are inmates that don't have any mental issues, but they come into a jail. They're not used to being in that type of environment. It does get pretty tough, in jail. So it's not, and some people can't take it. So they will attempt to take their lives because they're thinking like, oh, it's the end of the world. I'm incarcerated. I can't take. A lot of people cannot take it. They cannot take it. But for Love to make the decision to have them, and I don't know if I think Whitaker was lied to, because she's the one that signed that warrant. Um, Mr. Zachary didn't take a plea deal. He's not. He's not listening as part of this case. So at the time that she sent them to the hospital to arrest him, they hadn't even told him that he was next to be on the stand. So how do you arrest somebody that's not a part of your case because you subpoenaed him and because his father said? Now, what his father said, he said was his son will come to court, but his son is not going to be there testifying on behalf of the state. His son will show up to testify, but he's not going to testify the way they want him to testify. But Mr. Zachary is an adult, so his father can say anything that he wants to say to you. That's not, you're not getting that information from Mr. Zachary. And I don't care how his family is involved with him. I don't care about any of that. He's still an adult. He can make his own decisions about what he's going to do and what he's not going to do. They were never supposed to go on the word of his father if his father did say he wasn't coming to court, but his father said he didn't say that. He said his father said he's not coming to court to testify and be a state witness. But because they subpoenaed him, he's going to show up to court and he's going to answer some questions. So it was illegal for him to do. Shout out to Ashley Merchant for going on all these different platforms. And because she already has a client that is a part of this case, she basically went from platform to platform, bringing up Mr. Zachary's case and why and how it was illegal for them to do what they did to him. Sickle cell is nothing to play with. It's nothing to play with. So when that man said that he is in pain, he's not exaggerating anything. He's telling you the truth. He's in pain. It may have came out, a way where he says, I need my drugs. But that's just what he's calling it. He's on medication that's given to him by a physician. Because unless you're somebody that has sickle cell, you'll never know their pain. Now, I have the trait. I don't have the disease. But sickle cell is so important that if you get pregnant, so when I was pregnant with my daughter, her father had to get tested to see if he had the trait. Because if two people have the trait and they have and they conceive, you can see the baby is going to have the disease. And so the disease is worse than having the trait. So this young man, he's been dealing with this all of his life, and he's lucky to be alive. I lost a very good friend of mine in high school to sickle cell, and she was in and out. At first, we didn't understand, like, why is she always out? Like, what is going on? And she told us. So when we got to the 12th grade, she didn't get to graduate with us. She passed away. That was one of the hardest things ever, to have to go through, because, like, when you're with somebody like a lot during like your school years, your school days, you get close to people. And it was just, so sad that, like, all of us from the school, we're at the church now burying our childhood friend who passed away from sickle cell. Yeah, it is. It's a horrible disease. And your daughter has a trait. Yeah, the doctors now, when you go and you have a trait, they want the father to be tested to make sure that he doesn't have the trait, so that your child doesn't, have the disease. So that's how important it is. But I just want to know, Courtney, how does love and where in Love's mind, what makes her think that she could undermine what a doctor says. Or even in Shane's case, his father's trying to tell you what happened. Now he unalived his father's wife. But the family is saying, like, because he's had mental issues all this time, they're really not holding it against him. And even if they did want him to serve time for that, they do have special facilities that you can take the patient to and have him serve his time there with nurses and staff that can give him the proper care that he needs. But to lock him up on Rice Street, and people with no issues can't even stomach being on Rice Street. You take a mentally ill patient and put him in Rice Street in those conditions. Love needs to be stopped. Her bar card needs to be revoked. She does not need to be trying any other cases. You're the lead DA, whatever you call yourself, and you standing there with a stack full of raps, reading these raps over and over and over again. I just said, you know what? I don't know what they're gonna do with her, but they need to do something. Correct. Yeah. But she wanted him in Rice Street. So that's why she is named. She is one of the people that is named in that lawsuit. As she should be. Mention her by name. Because she's the one that made those decisions. And so, like, I don't understand. I don't know which way they are going, whatever it is that they're trying to do. But I do know that there has been some some dirty things that's going on in the courtroom. The time when they took Lil Rod out, I think that was something that was staged. The time when the guy came in the courtroom, one of the defendants came in the courtroom and walked up to Jeffrey and put the pill in his hand. You can tell that he wasn't expecting it. You can tell he was shocked. And he gave it right to the guard. But that was something that they was going to try to use and say, oh, you know what? Even if he's in the courtroom, he had somebody bringing him something, from off the street. But thankfully, when they looked at the video, they said no. That they're not getting the same thing from that. It's a setup. It's things going on in the courtroom that you have to open your eyes and be aware of. What they did to Stillwell, that's something else I wanted to talk to Empress about. What they did to Stillwell, I think it is crazy. And anybody that thinks that he got on the stand and perjured himself and didn't tell them or testify the way she wanted him to testify, that's not the reason why he's sitting in jail. He's sitting in jail is because he got love together on 2 different days. And the judge was agreeing with Moontook. I'm sorry, not Stillwell. Moontook. The judge was kind of in agreement with him and she was laughing. And Love didn't like that. But he was only being truthful and honest. Like, stop talking to me like I'm your kid. I'm not your kid. Stop yelling at me. Like, yeah. And then when he said, he was a little funny. Like, it's funny, but, he was serious. I might have to go see somebody about this. And then when Whitaker had told him, Love asked him something. He said, "Ask and answer." And then Whitaker, he looked at Whitaker, and Whitaker said, "Oh, well, he did answer you." And then Mootook looked at over and said, "She said you overruled." I mean, just like all of the court jargon in the wrong places, it was funny. But to see them arrest him when he is like the breadwinner in his family, started his own business to better himself. This is another thing, Courtney. I want you to tell me how you feel about this, right? When Jeffrey was up there, saying what he was saying to the judge and to the court and everybody else, he offered to donate $100,000 plus be a part of the gun buyback program. And they denied that. No, you don't have to do that. If you guys are claiming that there's so many illegal guns on the street, you guys are complaining that all these gangs have so many guns and they're just tearing up Georgia and Fulton County and Cleveland Avenue. Why would you not take that money? You're saying that there's a problem. Mr. Williams is offering a solution, but y'all say no to that. So to me, after they said no to that, I believe that they don't want the guns off the street because it's a business for them. So locking up people is a business for them. That's the only reason why I can see that you would not accept this generous offer. And plus, he's going to be there when they come, drop the gun off. Maybe you get a picture with Mr. Williams' thug. It would have been awesome to come together and try to start fixing stuff. But yeah, that's the only thing that they said that they wouldn't accept from him. He has to do like a community service. And he wanted to do like have like a gathering or something for the kids to come to where he would be there and a free concert for them and stuff. And so Whitaker said, "Oh, that's something nice that he can that he can do." But they wanted him to, do the community service. So let me see what you're saying, Courtney. With someone yesterday, Courtney, not only did he wasn't threatened before, he was threatened while he was on the stand right in front of all of us. Like, it doesn't make a difference how professional Hilton tried to make it sound. No, you were threatening him. When the times that you asked him about the plea agreement that he signed, you were threatening him. And another thing for me is that I get it. Yeah, but he has to do. So I know that he can come to Atlanta for funerals, weddings, and things like that, but he's not allowed, to be in Atlanta. So I'm wondering if that's an exception. I think Whitaker did say it was an exception, but for me, I'm just still stuck on the fact that you guys had an issue, he has a solution, and that you turned that down. That just was not a good look. It was not a good look at all. Because that's what I think, and that's just what I'm going to feel. And I want to say maybe like 2 years ago, I was supposed to be moving to Georgia, not in Fulton County though. Over in Covington. um, the Covington Conyers area. And so when I started, watching this trial, I'm like, wait a minute, do we really want to move down there? But it is still nice. This is something I'm normally down near the beginning of the year. Sometimes we're down there twice a year. Um, and I love it. I live in a city, even though the street I live on is quiet. But still, I'm just tired of Jersey. That's where I'm from Jersey, tired of it. Yeah, Metro Atlanta, yeah. So I'm guessing that she's going to give him a pass, because how was he going to do these concerts? I think she did give him a pass to come back into the to do the concerts. Um, yeah, Covington. Yeah, my mother-in-law has a house in Covington, and so like she had like property on either side. They were the land was for sale, and like we slept on it, and so now somebody else bought the land. They built houses there, and then Conyers is also a nice area as well. And I forgot where my cousin lived at down there. She lives in a gated community. So, I mean, it's really, really nice. In that place, they have a golf course, a water park, and lake, everything. I mean, it's beautiful. But so Jonesboro, my son's dad lived there. He passed away though in a motorcycle accident 2 years ago. That's exactly where he is. But his wife she still lives in Jonesboro. Yeah. So that's a pretty nice area too. But I was ready to go. Like me and my husband had a plan. Like let's just let's go. Let's just leave. But he's almost able to retire, so he wants to get all his time. It's the reason why, like that was put on hold. But I mean, it's just so disheartening to see, even though this debacle has brought a lot of people together, and people can put their personal differences to the side. And this is not about anything about race or color. And I tell people this because the same people that look like them are the people that's trying to put them away. So it's not that. And you have so many different people that have, like I said, that have come together because of this. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. And everybody is on one accord because we see the injustice that is happening in that courtroom. And people don't like it. And so people are talking about it. And people are watching and still watching. So this is the thing. People thought that, oh, Doug is home. Nobody's going to be paying attention. No, we're not going anywhere. We're going to be here every day. We're going to continue to watch. We're going to continue to use platforms to lift our voices and do the best that we can, for what we can do. You know what I'm so it is what it is. And just imagine if those young men didn't have the attorneys that fought for them. If they didn't have those attorneys, everybody, exactly. It does not matter. It does not matter. I was a correction officer for 7.5 years. And the way I went into that profession, I was 21 years old. Always mature for my age. But I have the type of mindset where I'm not going to let people tell me what I should be and what I shouldn't be doing. So I'm talking about officers. I don't care. You've been here 10 years. I'm new. That don't have nothing to do with me working here. And I'm not the follow the leader type of woman. So no, I'm not doing nothing that you tell me to do the way you want me to do it. I'm not participating in anything like that. I'm here to do a job, and that's what I'm going to do. So any inmate that I ever work with will tell you, oh, she's fair, firm, and consistent. That was the way I approached it, and that's the way I worked for my entire time being a correctional officer. Fair, firm, and consistent. You cannot, once you step on the other side, it's no going back from that. You can give an inmate something like a straw from outside. They got you. You're not supposed to give them anything that's not approved by the jail already. You're not supposed to do it. And that's a like a little small thing that I'm using, but I'm trying to just tell you how serious it is. Like, there was one of my coworkers lost his job because he brought an inmate a salami and cheese sub. So he lost his job making $80K plus because I don't know what happened that day when he woke up or how they worked that out, but you brought this sub in here. Now, normally when you go into the jail, right, you stay downstairs for muster. That's where they tell you like what's going on, what happened on the last shift, what's going on the next shift. And if somebody doesn't have a post, they'll tell you, okay, we need you over here, over there. And normally, like we if you bring in lunch, like we had to bring in a clear bag. You put your listen. I had a pink clear backpack. Put all my stuff in there. If I have a sub, I'm gonna put it in there. How he got caught is he came in with a magazine. He had the sub wrapped up in the magazine, so he had the holding the magazine, like how you roll up a magazine, you just hold it in your hand like that. But in the middle of this magazine, he had a submarine. So they're like, okay, so all right, muster's over. So the sergeant was thinking, like, why is he carrying this magazine in here? And like that. And so that when he went to his post, the sergeant went behind him. He didn't even see the sergeant and gave the inmate the sandwich. Lost his whole job. So, yeah, you can't do that. Wow, really? Ooh, really? You can't. You can't. You have to. Like I say, when I say feel firm and consistent, like what? I'm not doing nothing for another inmate that I'm not going to do for the other one. There's just rules, and they apply to everybody. I'm not going out my way to mistreat anybody or to falsely accuse anybody of anything. That's not how I worked. But I am fair, firm, and consistent, because that's the thing that will set you apart from the rest of the officers. And they thinking like, oh, well, I'm gonna just slide and bring them maybe a piece of cheese or something from outside. They got you. You can't. You cannot do that. They will hold it over your head and quick. They will let you know quick. Or whoever else, or they'll be holding it over your head, and then they'll ask you something for something, and you say no. Oh, but you didn't say that when you bought me that piece of cheese from your house the other day. Now you want an investigation for a slice of cheese. It happens. But I think Monday the state is going to rest. I think Viverito is their last. She's their last witness. But I can't wait till Shark gets her on the stand. I cannot wait. I cannot wait because she's not showing herself. They took all of her pictures down off of the website. So you know how you can look them up on the site? They took all her pictures down for some reason. And she comes into court today and she doesn't want to be on camera. Why don't you want to be on camera? All of the guys that have been charged, they know who you are. Yeah. It's definitely, that's the truth, Courtney. You hit that one right on the nose. They'll try you. They'll try you. So, like I said, I was 21 when I started working. So, um, I went on the floor and there was a trustee in the hallway mopping. So I come off the elevator and she's like, "Oh, you knew? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm in here for? I'm in here for murder." That's what she told me. I said, "I don't give a fuck." You want to play? Like, I don't. She was like, "Oh, wow. I didn't know you was going to call." Yeah, listen, don't do that. I don't care. You're not here for murder, and you out here mopping this hallway. So let's stop that one right there, okay? And you just let them know from the door. So for my last 6 months of working as a correction officer, I had transferred to the state to an all women's prison, Edna Man Correction facility in Jersey here. And it was so disheartening to me, and like mentally it started to take a toll, because there's a lot of men that work in those women prisons. They've never worked with male inmates. But you're not going to be around me. You're not going to disrespect these women while I'm here. They committed a crime. You got some people that's locked up for crimes they didn't commit. They're here to pay their debt. They're here to pay their dues to society. That doesn't mean that we're here, and because we're the officers, that we're here to mistreat them. That's not the work of the Lord. So that's not what I'm doing. Oh, I'll handle myself when it comes to it. If I have to, I'm going to act accordingly. But for you to sit here and call these women, excuse my French, black bitchs, don't ever do that around me. Because the way I feel like you're saying it to them because you probably want to say it to me, but you're not going to. But that's not what we're here for. We're not here to call them out of their names. We're not here for that. And any other woman that's here, regardless the color, should never be addressed as a bitch. That's disrespectful. And so I kind of felt like it was something that they were used to doing and saying, but a lot of them, when I transfer, a lot of them they really didn't care for me, because when I transferred with all of my time from the county jail where I was. So when I transferred to the state, I was able to keep all of my time. So I surpassed a lot of them. I was at top pay already. And so when it came to like picking your shifts, your bid, whatever, like, so I would, get to pick what I wanted my shift to be before any of them. So I know they didn't like me because of that. That don't have anything to do with me. Go talk to your politician. That's the only thing I can tell them, right? Yeah, it is. Me, I don't think that I don't think that it changed me. The only thing was So, 21 years old, you're just really like coming into your own at 21. So there was a lot of times when my son was 4 months old. I had just had a baby 4 months prior to starting there. So I worked for a year before they even sent me to the academy. So I had got on the job training, but didn't go to the academy till a year later. Um, it was a thing where, like I said, you have to, when you're out in the world, you're one way. But when you step into, your role as a correction officer, everything that doesn't make sense to the outside world makes sense to the inmates. They are in survival mode. So a lot of things you just have to get used to, because it's so different than what we're used to. Like, take for instance, um, I the first time I think I worked at night, and I hear all this noise, like muffling, and you hear like stuff echoing. So the inmates would, so the women were up on the 12th floor. So right below them would be the 10th floor, and then 8, like they didn't have any odd number of floors. Then 8, so it's all the rest of the floors were men. So their piping system ran like from the top straight down. So they would take a cup, scoop all the water out of the toilet. They would have 3 or 4 tubes, the tubes that's inside the toilet paper. They put them together and make like a thing to talk through. And so they would talk to the men and vice versa. They would talk back to them through the toilet. So that's something that, on the street, you don't see that. It's like, and so the first time I was like, what the hell? And so, yeah, that's a violation. So like you get a 4-hour write up for that. If the officer, yep, talk through the toilet. Yep. That's how there was their form of communication. And it was a thing where they were getting in trouble for this over and over and over again, because that's the way it was. And this is the crazy thing, right? So they're on 12th floor, like I told you. Then it's the 10th floor. And then it goes down to 8. They can talk from the 12th floor down to somebody on the 8th floor. Because like I said, the piping system ran straight down with no curves or nothing. And that's why, that's how they explained it to me. So yeah, it's just like a whole a different thing, out here. Then you having to be in survival mode behind that wall. Some people they're not fortunate to have people that can help them, or that's able to put money on their books and stuff like that. So a lot of times, like they have these like small businesses that where they do, exchange services for, food or snacks and stuff like that. Of course, it's against the rules, and they're kind of slick the way they do it. But if they get caught, that's something that you can write them up for. But it's definitely a different. It's different. But what got me when I transferred to state prison was I spoke to those young ladies and I told them, listen, nobody should ever be calling you out of your name. That's not what they hired us to do here. And they have things that they can use also to write a grievance about somebody, like an officer or something. And I was trying to tell them, and the girl, they looked at me and was like, oh, he's just playing. I said, he's not playing. They're not playing. They're not playing. And I said, I'm not sure if, like, maybe they're deciding that today they're going to, speak about this more openly because I'm here. And I know that they didn't really care for me being there, but the girls, they thought it was fine. I said, it's not fine. It's not. But I mean, yeah, it is. It's kind of different. And even so, when I went to, when I transferred to the state prison, they had a whole building just for people with mental illness. They call it the C cottage. So in there, they always have a nurse on staff, with the officers. And, you have people. I've seen some really, really gross stuff. I don't want to gross nobody out. So I'm just going to leave that story where it's at. But we had a lady, she was incarcerated. She was from the South. And so they get let out for rent. It's in a closed area in the back of the building where they are housed. She would go out there every day and eat dirt. And we would have to check her pockets when she comes in because she would fill her pockets up with dirt. And they were saying this is something like in the old days, something that they used to do, eat dirt or something like, I don't know. That's what they was telling me. I said, I don't know. Okay, I get that. But like, she can't, bring that dirt in here to eat it. I'm not going to allow her to eat dirt. I mean, it's nothing we can do if she's outside. We can say, put that down. Don't do that. But she's going to keep doing it. It's just, her mental. But I watched a officer that was already there when I was there. She was on year 30. She was so close to retiring. She lost her job because they found out because the trustees that were housed in that unit, the trustees that worked in that unit, they actually stayed in that unit as well. And she had this long relationship with one of the trustees. And I don't know who told it. All I know is I was off and I came back to work and they, people just whispering and all this other kind of stuff. They found all types of stuff. Stockings, dildos. I'm like, so wait, when was she? Okay, was she putting on the stockings for the officer? That's what I want to know. Like, I couldn't understand the stockings. Not no knee highs, the full stockings. And she lost her job. They did not allow her to resign and to keep her pension. She lost her job because that inmate had so much stuff in that room that she wasn't supposed to. She had to be bringing stuff in there for more than months, for years. The inmate had a lot of stuff. And being that they're in this cottage here, C cottage, what they called it, and they were working with the mentally ill patients or whatever, like they really counted on the officers that worked in that unit to make sure that the trustees in here are on the up and up doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're still inmates. You have to I know a lot of people get attached to people. It happens. You get attached to people, especially if you're working with somebody for a long time. You have some inmates that'll give officers such a hard time, but when you come around, it's just like, yes, man. So I can't even believe that what you're saying, because when I'm here, I don't get that same reaction. But it's all about being fair, firm, and consistent. That's it. That's all you have to do. Fair, firm, and consistent. So, I mean, but the condition that Rice Street is in, that's not good. In Jersey, the jail that I used to work at, they actually closed it. So they don't lock people up anymore unless you have a charge for something like you unalive somebody or you knife somebody. It has to be something. You know how they used to lock people up for loitering, maybe, and it's your fourth or fifth time loitering. No, you're going to do 30 days. They don't do that anymore. They stopped that. So if you have a non-violent offense, they'll book you in and you get ROR'd and you have to come released on your own recognizance, and you have to come back to your court date. Now, if you don't come to the court date, they'll put out a warrant for you, but they're not locking people up like that in Jersey anymore. Yeah, you have to be a violent offender. So, I mean, it is what it is. I'm just praying that all goes well with Lil Rod and for Yak Gotti and Stillwell. I pray that they'll get some resolve soon. Praying for an acquittal. They may have committed crimes, but the crimes that they're charging them with, anybody that's paying attention to this trial, you already know that that's not just, they need to stop. And Yak, they don't even really ever talk about him. If you notice, Doug is not really getting up to say or ask questions at certain times because it does not include Yak. Like, he may ask something if it's going to benefit, all of them, or maybe, I'm sure him and Shark, they talk, but he's not really. They don't really have a lot of stuff with Yak, and I just saw that Yak just came home from doing a bid. He did an interview with what's that show? Jumped Off the Porch or Off the Porch, something like that. And he did an interview, and he was saying that he was into the street life, but I'm an artist now. I don't need to do that. And he said he had some a lot of music coming out, and stuff like that. Like, he spent his time when he was incarcerated doing shows in the room. He said he was bored. He wrote a lot of music. He did a lot of shows in his room, preparing for his release. And then he gets released, and now he's pulled in here, which I don't understand. Even though they're charging him with the RICO, a lot of these charges that they're charging him with, they'll have already served their time for these charges. Somebody already has taken they have already convicted somebody. I don't understand the double jeopardy thing. April O'Neill's baby daddy. What's up, girl? What's up? I didn't even see you come in here. I'm just over here. I was supposed to be with Empress, but we were having some technical difficulties. So I'm just here kicking in with Courtney. We're just chatting about the trial and stuff like that. But thank you for coming by, April. You think, yeah. But I think that Jeffrey took the weight for that for the pistol with the switch on it, the pew pew with the switch on it. That was part of his agreement. Yeah, he took the weight for that, but they're because they're still going to try to put that on everybody else because it is RICO. Like, I just don't understand. I don't understand how you can just say, okay, well, who is this? Oh, they from YFN. Thank you, April O'Neil. Girl, don't come in here doing me like that. Don't come in here doing me like that. Thank you so much, though. I know you stopped in to show love, April, and I definitely appreciate you. And thank you for the 5. I do appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. She gonna have me crying over here. She gave me my first super chat, and now she's back again. And that's Courtney. You should see April's Caddy Gang. April's Caddy Gang too. But yeah, I just don't understand. Like most of the testimony that we heard today, when they asked who was this person, YFN. She kept saying YFN. Like, so I'm just confused. Is YFN on trial here. Like, who is on trial, ma'am? Who is on trial? And I want to talk about really briefly about their gang training. First off, I cringe every time either the state or Viverito, whoever she, every time she gets on, every time they say, well, what are they calling that gang now? The what? Oh goodness! So even though you're charging YSL is a gang, and you're saying that they're part of the Bloods, but everything they post is green. You know, it's the green snake emoji. It fluctuates depending on what on what they're doing at the time. Like, I don't know if Hill and Love don't go back and watch these court cases. They might be able to say to themselves, self, now we didn't say that yesterday, but yet they don't care, because I believe, and I don't know if this is true or if this is something that Love gave them. So I was looking up something because they have this website, and I don't know whether it's legit or not. So that's why allegedly, I've seen it, but we have no concrete evidence that it's a real thing. So if you put in bar complaints in Google for Georgia, Fulton County, whatever, you're going to see all these complaints listed under Love's name is bio. It's like a page and a half or maybe 2 pages. They're claiming somebody filed a complaint against her. There's a couple of times on there for violating the Brady Act. Right now, they from the trial today, there's a Brady violation. Max Sharp just didn't call it out. Those notes that Viverito said that she's refreshing her recollection with, those are the notes that you said you didn't have. So now where did they come from? So the defense does not have them. The defense doesn't have those notes. But I think Sharp he's not doing that mistrial anymore. He puts stuff on the record. He's going to clear it up on his cross. He's going to eat this woman alive. I don't know how she's going to make it on the stand with Sharp, but Sharp doesn't come to play. He doesn't. And I love him for that, for being who he is, and for Doug for being who he is. I love that for these defendants, these men. I'm going to call them that. These men. I love that for them. They've been with these men for fighting this case with them for, over a couple years now. So of course they've gotten close to their clients and and they were able to see them as human beings, because people commit crimes every freaking day. It may be something small. You may not be, get caught doing it. But it still doesn't give you the right to trample on people's rights, to falsely accuse people of crimes that they have nothing to do with. That's not an option. It shouldn't be an option, because where's the money going, right? Let's follow the money, which they already started to do. We know Fannie got the money. Okay, where our charges at? For me, Fulton County needs to be charged. They need to give them a RICO charge, because everything y'all doing to these men that you guys have no idea about, some of the stuff that you just put out here. So let's take, for instance, Lil Mike and Quez. Why y'all mad at Shark? Because Shark asked about Quez yesterday. Why is that an issue? It's an issue because Little Mike and Quez don't exist. Little Mike and Quez are characters that Little Rudy made up, and they don't exist. But Hilton was mad yesterday when Shar asked that question, and I think Whitaker sustained the objection, and I didn't like that because he has a right to ask that question because Little Mike and Quez was named in the notes somewhere. They weren't indicted, but they were sure enough all in these this notes and stuff that the state has. And we wouldn't have known anything about Lil Mike and Quez if Lil Woody didn't say it on the stand. I just wish Lil Woody would have. I wish that this would have been different for him. I wish, I guess, like, a lot of people love him. They say they'll never hate him for anything. I don't hate anybody. I just have a bad taste in my mouth because even though you never thought in a million years that they would go this far with, how they brought this case, you still told them these fabricated stories. And so I just wish that things were different for him. And the person that he is now, I wish that there was somebody there to kind of show him that before. Like the same thing with Lil Rod. Like it's just, he still looks like he's 15 years old. And my heart goes out to him, his family. And I'm just praying that, somehow we can band together and help him with his appellate judge. So like I said, I'm going to reach out to Sean, and then if he says that he wants to, do it, I'll give him Empress's information to reach out to her. Courtney said, I didn't understand why she got mad about. Yeah, she got. You know why she got mad. You know exactly why she got mad, Courtney, because they don't exist. and Woody told them, I made it up. They don't exist. That's why she mad. She don't want him to bring that back up in front of the jury. I don't know how much favor the jury has for the state. I don't think that it's going well for y'all. We could tell by juror number 56. He said, listen, I'm ready to go home. I'm tired. Yeah, he didn't think his lies would go anywhere. And the only reason why, like, they listened to him was because they wanted Doug. And that's sad. What I was confused about was that it slipped my mind to come back to me. I was just thinking about something. I was a little confused. So Woody has like turned his life around. It's a good thing to see. I think he was a little when Doug got out, and this upset me so bad. This really, really upset me. So when Doug got out, he got out at nighttime. So, he's probably with his family and everything like that. So Woody goes on live, and then you have these idiots in the comments saying, oh, Jeffrey said he put money on your head. And I'm like, why would y'all say that? Y'all know that they're watching everything that they're doing. We did not see Jeffrey post anything about putting no money on no dag on Woody's head. Why y'all over here saying that? And another thing I don't like is people are saying, oh, Doug was stupid. He should have waited. You would never know what you would do if you are in somebody else's shoes. He is a father of 6. One of his children's mother passed away. And he just didn't want to go further with this. He wanted to be home with his family. And it's understandable. You try going from a mansion to a, 6x8 foot cell, or 8x6, something like that. You'll try that. And where the living conditions are horrible. And he has medical issues. So had he stayed, if he didn't take the plea, I was hoping that still would have brought in the interview that he did. Jeffrey, he did an interview. He was talking about how the things that he had to do to feed his family. And, people thought, he's just a bad person. He's this and he's that. And see, he says now, fast forward to now, I'm this, I'm Young Thug and I have, he's rich. And he said that he sat and reflected on his life. And he said, and he had to forgive himself and tell himself that, the things that happened in the past when you didn't have anything, he said he realized that it was all a part of like the struggle of just trying to survive everyday life. And he said that he really had to reflect on that. And so, he started telling, the guys that was hanging around him, y'all don't have to do this anymore. You can come work for me. But if they did want to work, he would get rid of them. If they didn't want to do right, he stopped talking to them. Quandarius Zachary said he hadn't spoken to Doug in over, was it 10 years and somebody else was 15. So it was something like, I think he was 10 years. Because if they're out here doing wrong, they'll cut them off. He is the one that sent Woody to the police department the day that Mr. Nutt was unalived. He told him to go. They didn't get him to stand and make that up. That's what happened. He told him, if you don't have anything to worry about and they're saying your name, go down here and tell the police you didn't do it. Love and Hilton and them, they didn't really want to talk about that. And then you want to say that him saying that he had a show in Virginia was a sham. For the life of me, what I think, and these are my thoughts, I think that they were trying to bankrupt Thug, but they didn't know how much money he had. People have to realize he has his own record label. He's very successful. His music is, it's out there. He's successful, not just to one demographic. You have people from all different demographics, different genres that love him. They like his music. They like his art. So people want to make big deals about the fact that he wore, a skirt and a couple of his, his campaigns. So I am a retired, paid, published model. And the campaigns that Doug was a part of, you can trust and believe, because with his name and those brands, They're gonna pay Doug anywhere from $500,000 to $1 million. He can get a deal like that for the people that he was modeling for in their clothes. So what he was wearing, a lot of people wouldn't understand it, and they went straight to calling him gay, this, that, and the third. What it's called is called high fashion. Everybody can't model and be like a high fashion model. A lot of people don't get those opportunities, but Doug was getting them opportunities left and right. They wanted Doug in their clothes. Another thing, Hilton brought it back up today too. Spider. That's another one of his clothing lines. I think at this point, he needs to bring some type of lawsuit against them, because this is my business and this is my brand. And you're taking my brand and you're tarnishing my brand. I have all of the paperwork to show that this was a business. This is a business. His line Spider came out while he was incarcerated. He actually released a song, I want to say it was last month. I forgot who it was with. It was a collab last month. It's not like he's not working. He can work behind the wall, but who wants to do that? There was another interview that Doug did. Doug lost so many people while he was like, yep, his sister, the baby mother, yep, you are absolutely right. His friend, when Rich Homie Quan passed away. For the life of me, the next day that they were in that courtroom after Rich Homie Quan passed away, Hilton, why did you feel the need to ask somebody, do they remember that Doug called Rich Homie Quan, bitch Homie Quan on the stage? Read the room. Read the room. Have a little proof about yourself. That man passed away, and you could have left that out of your out of this trial once he passed away. But the thing is, Rich Homie Quan had also said he hasn't made music the way he made music when he was making music with Doug. So I do believe that if Rich Homie Quan was still alive, him and Doug would have collabed again. He said his music wasn't the same. So, but you have these prosecutors in here that's, just using anything. They know that Birdman or Lil Wayne was never coming to no courtroom to testify for them. No, they wasn't. They were not coming to testify on behalf of the state. I don't care what Lil Wayne said. And Doug, even though Lil Wayne, he was throwing out subliminals and all, Doug still didn't strike back. He didn't say any, like he wasn't going to badmouth him because that was his idol. So he didn't care about what he said. It was just what it was. He was naming his album after Wayne to show homage because he looked up to him. Wayne, he really didn't like it, so Doug just changed the name of the album, and that was that. But he never said anything bad about him. But Doug did another interview. And I'm wondering if Love and Hilton would have saw this interview, would they have tried to twist this interview around also? So Doug did an interview where he was saying that he died and came back. And so he started telling the story. He said that he was, laying down. He tried to get up. Yeah, they you know what, they've been okay. He'd been okay with it. That happened so long ago, Courtney. Yeah, he has yep, the personality is, yep, it reflects that. He has such a giving heart. He has such a giving heart. They didn't talk about those. Well, Doug talked about it. So you know how they have they keep asking about Water Street, and like so many people were there, and like the guys are saying, Doug got this place because people didn't have nowhere to stay. That's not a lie. It's not anything they're fabricating or making up. I heard about Doug, buying up property in order for single parents to live and to be able to afford rent and stuff like that. He had a whole bunch of property that when this thing came along, he has turned it over to Kanye West. What Kanye West did with, I didn't hear anything else about that. But no, he is really about the community and giving back to the community. He want to give to the community everything that he couldn't have when he was younger. And I don't know if you guys listened to or saw Still was teaching at Emory. So he had Doug on FaceTime and he was talking to the students that, are going to school to be lawyers. So he has a very good heart. And things happen to people and people change. But what further upsets me, and like I have to just shut Twitter off, because I'll be like, I'm not going to sit on Twitter and argue with people back and forth. But why are you speaking into existence that this man is going back to jail? Oh, I would have took that. He's stupid because he's going to go back to jail. Well, academics, let's talk about your charges that's pending. Since you on here running your mouth, and if somebody go over there and say, oh, Savannah Speak says something about you, go over there and watch the video, he will probably try to contact YouTube to take it down. But let's talk about your charges, academics, because you seem to be so caught up in all of this stuff. You want to speak all of this ill will into people's lives. Mind your business and move on. You don't know what you would do if you was in his shoes, where his children were suffering, his children were missing him, he was missing his family, he lost so much. The man is ill, not getting the proper care in jail. Let's talk about your charges, that you got mad because people pulled your charges because it's public record and you got popped. Right now, you are facing a pedo charge and a grape charge. Y'all drop the G. A grape charge. Drop the G. You didn't think that girl was going to go and file them charges. She had to play it cool because you were the only way that she was going to be able to get back home. She lives in Philly. So she told you that she was okay with everything that happened in your house so that you could pay for that Uber to get her back home. But when she got home, she called and told him, I'm going to the emergency room. I am sore. This is just not feeling right. Do you know what his freaking response was? He didn't know. He didn't have no idea that she was going to press these charges on him. His response to his was, while you're there, I suggested you get a STD test to make sure you don't have the herpes. So wait, how you get from there to this? You brought that girl there. You knew exactly what was going to happen. You tried to act like you was asleep. And so allegedly, according to the girl in the court documents, his friends raped her. Now you can hear they came and took the video from him. The video was out there. The girl is screaming. She's screaming because his friends are in the room having their way with her. And then he went in. He was the last one to go in there. And so let's talk about the girls that you get in their DMs. And if they're 15 or 16, you start entertaining them and telling them, okay, well, when you turn 18, we're just going to talk until you turn 18. You over here condemning Doug about a plea that he took. I ain't never seen you come outside to throw hands with nobody. So what we talking about, academics? He pissed me off with that one. But Jeffrey had did an interview, and he was saying that he was trying to get up, and he said he couldn't. He said he couldn't move. And he said that he went to try to say something, and nothing came out. He was trying to call for his mother. Nothing came out. So he said he was trying. So finally his mother, came and realized something was wrong. And so she called the ambulance to come get Jeffrey. And when he got to the hospital, they told him, you're not supposed to be here. Like, he has kidney issues. And you're not supposed to be here. And he was telling them, I couldn't move, I couldn't talk, I couldn't do anything. And so he said he's lucky and grateful to be here. And then he said, because I died the other day. And then he started singing a song. I'm wondering if Lavender would have took that and twisted that around. Because he said he died the other day. I wonder, did they see that? So y'all have this man in this facility, and he has serious issues. You're not giving him the care that he should have. And that's with all jail facilities. They'll take an inmate out to like put a Band-Aid on something, but something has to really, really be wrong for them to actually, get you the proper medical attention that you need. So yeah, he wants to come home. It didn't go away. Him having those kidney issues, it didn't go away. And he's not being treated correctly for it. Like Jeffrey has never been as big as he was when he was incarcerated. So yeah. I think that, he has to. I think part of his, Courtney, about the minors. Oh yeah, girl. I wish so before they charged him with the grape and these pedos, there was a girl. She made a video because she was so creeped out about it. And she was saying that he jumped in her DMs and asked her how old she was. And he said she's told him that she was 17. And she said you would think that he would stop contacting her and stop talking to her. No. He just told her, when you get of age, when you turn 18, but the content creator that got all his court documents, she also pulled an interview that he did. So it's a bite, a sound bite. And so they were having the conversation about all the stuff going on about essay and underage men having relationships with underage people and everything like that. This is way before they even started this thing this is way before Diddy, when he did this interview, and it's him. He said, so some kids go to college at 16, some kids 17, if they're smart enough and they can get out of school, like they go to college at those ages. This guy said, I don't care how old they are. If they're in college, I'm hitting it. So the content creator did her content, She read the court docs, with her audience, pulled the sound bite and said, yeah, well, this is academics in his own words. Academics wrote YouTube to strike her video, to take it down. So YouTube took half of her monetization off her video. And they turned it, it went from green to yellow. Yellow is a warning that your stuff is not going to be monetized. So after they did that, they came and they stripped the monetization altogether. So she wrote YouTube and said, you guys need to put my video back up. I did, that's content that I'm using under the Fair Use Act. And I actually did commentary, in between. Because if you're using something from somebody else, you're on social media, YouTube especially, you can use other people's, videos. You just have to do commentary on it. You can't just take it and just slap the video up there and never say nothing. I'm just going to put the video up there. This is whatever. And I didn't say anything. Yeah, then YouTube will take the video, the monetization off of the video, and then we'll take the video down. But she told YouTube, I am not going to stop talking about him. This is public. It's public knowledge. She said those court documents, I got those documents myself from, the courthouse. And yeah, I did commentary on it. You need to restore my video, put my video back up. So they did wind up putting her video back up and monetizing it. Or whatever. And academics was heated. But you have been, you are rich because you're doing commentary on everybody. Nobody can do commentary on you. Oh, you don't like the subject. And I don't watch him. Never was a fan of his, but he really, really rubbed me the wrong way when he said what he said. And so, Doug's sister is Dolly. She saw it. She saw it. And she's like, I forgot what she said. So I'm not going to, she said something nasty to him. But then I saw it. And then I replied to her and I said, well, don't worry about him. He needs to worry about them pedo charges and them great charges he got dropped, the G. Yeah, I'm going to have to see. I'm going to reach out to the content creator to see if she has any updates about his charges. I will definitely let you know if she's going to give an update, if she's found out anything else. Because I didn't get I didn't do any commentary on it. But I also follow her. She's a receipt queen. She don't put anything up without receipts. So it's not like, something that is hearsay and all that stuff. No, she got the public court document, sir, with your information on it. Oh yeah, and another thing that I saw with my own eyes. So this was after they Diddy wasn't locked up yet, but he had already settled the suit with Cassie. And it was right after that. I don't know if academics thought it was a smart idea to tell the security that was with him to tape him. The video is very disturbing. So they are filming him and he has this young lady's pocketbook in his hand. I think it was a Louis Vuitton bag. But I don't know if it's true or not, but people were saying that the girl was 17. I don't know, but she was with academics. And so when I tell you He got in her face. He was screaming and hollering in her face like he was getting ready to haul off and knock her heads off her shoulder. I was very, very triggered watching that video. He got up in this young lady's face and he told her, you listen to me. You do what I tell you to do. I'm the one with the money, not you. So she's like, just give me my pocketbook and I'm leaving. He's like, I'm not giving you shit. I bought this. And just, I mean, it was horrible. Horrible. And so she had another young lady that was out with them. He was calling her all types of streetwalkers, and you know what he was saying the other word, and all types of stuff. I'm the head NIGG in charge. You listen to me. When I tell you to do something, you do. He kept getting in her face. He wouldn't give her her pocketbook back. I don't care how you bought it. When you went out, it was her. She brought it with her. And it was not a good look. I don't know if he told the security to record or they just started record. I don't know what it was. I don't know if the whole Puffy thing, I'm going to get it on tape. It wasn't a good look for you academics. It was not a good look for you. So before you keep running your chubby, you know what, suckers about everybody else, sweep around in your own backyard, my guy. Talk about that. Because you already said you don't understand why Doug took the plea. But why did you need to post that again? I'm a little confused. I'm a little confused. And his family sees that. But his family also looks to Twitter. Everybody that's doing whatever you're doing on Twitter when it relates to Jeffrey, like his sister has responded to me. And you know, she put a post out and I respond. Not that post. That post was after the first one that I have responded to. And I told, she was nervous. She just was like, she's nervous. Her brother's home. She's so glad that he's home. But she says she's just, you know, so nervous. Like, even though he's home, like they're on pins and needles because they already know what they're dealing with. They're dealing with Georgia, Fulton County. They already know. They already know that. So she just was saying that she was a little nervous. And I had told her, I said, you know, Dolly, don't worry about it. She was like, yeah, but there is two guys still on trial right now. And I said, Dolly, don't worry about it. I said, we're not going anywhere. The public's not going anywhere. We're going to be there for watching for Yak and Shannon just as well as we was watching when before Jeffrey and the other guys took their pleas. We're still going to be there bright and early. And she said, thank you. She said, thank you. Like, you know, so she's watching. And if you see her, like you'll see, she'll put up a message and it's just, you know, things that she's thinking about. And, you know, and just leave her, you know, a comment like to say, like, you know, we're here. We're not going anywhere. Like we are standing 10 toes down till they finish with this thing. Monday, bright and early, we going to be online for Yak and Shannon. So she does, you know, she was very, she was appreciative of that. And so that's what I just say. You just never know who's watching and stuff like that. You just never know. And so we still have, like, you know, Thugger over there still doing the thing. Love me some Thugger. And, you know, anybody else that I can connect with that is, you know, looks at this in a positive way, you know, positivity. You know, I'm all for it. But if you're somebody that just want to just keep stirring the pot and, you know, keep a mess going and stuff like that, I don't want to hear that. I don't really comment on stuff like that. But academics, oh yeah, I commented on that because I'm tired of you. You always talking about somebody. But let's bring up your charges. Did you find a way to get those girls to drop those charges, sir? Because the one girl filed the charges. He thought that it was a joke. So he never reached out to his attorney. He never reached out to the attorney. So then they wrote his behind and told him, you only have this much time to respond to these allegations. So he realized that they were not playing with him, and he got his attorney. His attorney filed a motion for an extension because he's saying that he only had like 48 hours to respond. No, the suit was filed already. He thought that he was going to get that taken care of, or the girl wasn't going to go through with it. But no, she did. And then here comes another suit. Okay, get online and talk about your own stuff. Let's talk about that. Come on my platform and let me do an interview, sir. I'm sorry, y'all. I just don't like that, Courtney. I just don't do that. And everybody, because it's such a large majority of people all over the world, people that's not even in the United States tune in to watch this trial, and everybody is saying the same thing. Everybody except the state. We can't all be wrong, because we're just the extended jury pool on the outside looking in virtually. But we get to see everything that's going on in the courtroom, and y'all full of it. So yeah, we're not going nowhere. We're here for Yak and Shannon. Weinstein said that that's what's been keeping Yak going. Oh yeah, okay. Good night, Courtney. I'm about to get off here too. But Weinstein said that everybody, the response from the public and the support that he's receiving from the public keeps Yak, it keeps him going, because he said he shows him all of that. He shows him all of the tweets where people are saying, free Shannon, free Yak, and that people are there for him. And he said that it really it lifts his spirits. So I think that, everybody is on the right track. I think, doing the right thing. We see the injustice, and we just want to see that the injustice is corrected, and that these men, get to go home to their families, because clearly from the evidence that we've seen, this situation about Mr. Drinks is wrong. And this is another thing. Mr. Drinks' aunt said that they have done nothing but lie to their family. All they want is the truth. So they were trying to get the family to come into the court, and the family was giving them pushback. Not because nobody was threatening them, not because they were scared. It's because they don't believe what they are telling them. And they just want the truth. They don't want you to just say, oh, because of a RICO, oh yeah, we're going to put this under Jeffrey Williams, or no, they want to know the truth about who really unalived their loved one. And they should be on that. But she named Hilton by name. She said that Hilton has done nothing but lie to their family. And what they did when Nichols and Lil Rod, the day they took their plea deals, the night before that, Love was calling his aunt, calling his mother. Now his aunt doesn't live in Georgia. She lives somewhere else. You're going to call his family and tell them they need to be to the courthouse the following day at 3:30. It was the same day. She lives out of town. Drink's mother is like, how are y'all telling, just telling us this? Like now. So anywho, to anybody that's out there listening or whatever you do, keep posting on Twitter. Keep posting on Instagram, Facebook, wherever you're posting. Um, just sending encouraging words to Yak and Shannon, because they do see those things, they appreciate it, and they appreciate the public for actually watching and just being there, and they see everything that is going on Twitter, YouTube, and everything else. They're made aware. They do show them, and like I said, YC said that this is what's keeping Yak going. So we are all moving in one direction on one accord all together. If you're going to be in Fulton County next Thursday, please, and you have time, or if you live in Fulton County next Thursday, Empress Fox and we have Miss Courtney is here. She's getting ready to go. But Empress Fox, like, they spearheaded another peaceful protest. So if you are in the area and you can make it out there, go out there and show support and stand with Empress Fox and Courtney and whoever else that's going to be out there to show that we are still here. We're still on one accord. We're still watching. And they need to stop what they're doing and let these men go. You should have charged them correctly. You wouldn't be in the boat that you're in. But because you want to charge them, I don't understand this one. How you even tried to even bring in charges after these men were locked up. Y'all saying that it's still in furtherance of the YSL gang. It's bull crap. And if it was your family members, you wouldn't want that to be done to you. So yeah, we are standing in agreement. We are here and we're not going anywhere. And Fulton County, you're on notice that the world is still watching. We're watching. We see what's happening. We see all of the mistakes that you are making. Hilton, Love, and I don't think that it's by accident. You're trying to throw stuff against the wall and praying that something sticks, at the cost of these young men's lives, their families, and their futures. Because they're young enough to get out here and turn their life around and still have their music career, but do it on a positive level. They still have life in them. They're not too far gone. And what you did to Lil Rod is more hurtful than anything. Anything. Anybody could be Lil Rod. Some people don't have a support system like that. And this is where community comes in. And we always are talking about how we're there for people in community. Let's start putting our money behind the voices. Because if it was anybody in my family, I would want somebody like an Empress Fox that is going to set up and spearhead a protest, a peaceful protest. And when she coming, Empress is not coming halfway. She coming with all her ducks in a row. She know everything that they're allowed to do, what they're not allowed to do. They're not trying to break any laws. They are there to show solidarity behind the fact that they are standing with the two men that are currently on trial. I just want them to explain to me how these people were so dangerous that y'all couldn't let them out of jail. But, if you take the plea and get on the stand and say what I want you to say, all of a sudden I'm not nervous about letting you out anymore. Come on now. You have these men facing 50, 60, 70 years, 3 lives. You want us to believe that y'all was willing to take all that time away and just give them the time. Y'all don't have a case really. But next Thursday, if you're in the Fulton County area, if you live there, go to Twitter, type in Empress Fox on Twitter. She has the flyer up there for the protest, and I think it should be on my page. I think I shared it. I think I did yesterday. Or was I? So if I didn't, I will share it. I think I did though on Twitter. But yeah, so if you are in the Fulton County area next Thursday, peacefully, in peace, come in peace, and go out there and stand with our sisters that's going to be out there, showing that there are still people out here in the fight, and we're not going away until this is over. We're not. So I don't know what Fulton County wants to do. I don't know where y'all going from here. All I know is that, love, you should be able to try another case. You shouldn't even have the title that you have because you have disgraced the bar. And the bar needs to take your license. Once you forget about humans being humans and you start treating people like trash, you get what you deserve. I don't like what you did to all of these men, and there is millions of people that feel the same way, and definitely for shame. For shame, that young man who had mental issues and he was autistic because of the choices that you made, love, Adrian, buffering on the courthouse steps, love. This young man is no longer here on this earth. And for that, they need to get justice for that. Just because you're the DA, the lead DA, or whatever you are, does not give you the right to mistreat people. It's bad enough that I think that the cops on the street need training in how to be able to spot someone that has a mental illness and deal with people that have mental illnesses. There was a young man who was unalived. He reminds me so much of my nephew. He had a thing where he was so quiet. Khalil is his name. He was quiet. And he had a condition where he always needed clothes to touch him. Like he had to have something. So his brother wanted something for the store. So he put on a hood on his head and he went to the store. And so the cops came and pulled him over. The cops came and pulled him over. And as they were unaliving him, he was begging for his life. He said, I didn't do anything. What happened? Like, what's going on? He said, I'm a good guy. I don't even kill bugs. I'm a good guy. I don't even eat meat because I don't like the way they kill animals for us to eat meat. And these are all the things that he was saying, begging for his life. I'm a tough guy, so I'm not going to cry on camera. I'll wait till the camera get turned off. But they unalived him. And he has some type of condition where, I guess it just made him feel like he was safe. And so he was taking violin lessons. And the young man and the lady that was teaching him how to play the violin, they had put up a video It was his birthday, and he didn't know. And they were recording it, and he walked in, and they gave him they had the cake on the table, had it all lit up, and he was just so grateful, like, oh, for me? You guys did all of this for me? And they were like, yeah. He just was like, oh, I can't believe it. And to watch those videos and to see how excited that this young man was, he was not a problem, not an issue. He didn't get in trouble. He didn't eat meat because he didn't like the way they killed animals. He wouldn't even kill a fly or a bug or anything like that. And to see how this man was unalive, then they called the ambulance that gave him a shot that they should not have given him, because the medication that he was taking, whatever shot they gave him, it kind of counteracted against each other. So, you know, I don't know. I have a lot of empathy for others. I like helping others. That's just who I am. I'm not going to say this because I'm not going to say it the way I was going to say it, because Empress told me. Okay, so let me scale that one back. So the doctors told me that I shouldn't be sitting here today, and I'm here. I'm here. 17 plus years surviving triple negative breast cancer. So people cannot tell me that anything is not possible, because it is. And so, in the midst of trying to figure out, because I suffer from survivor's remorse, God, why did you spare me? What is my purpose here? What is it? And, you know, I don't question God. I'm not questioning him. I'm just questioning him about what is the purpose that I'm still here. Not about what happened. Well, what is my purpose? And I really, for a long time, I couldn't, you know, figure it out. But I had already been doing part of what I do believe that my purpose is now. Like, you know, I do like a lot of advocating for cancer patients. And maybe it's private. If it's something that's not for the public, it's just something that I will you know, I'll deal with it in the way that I deal with it. You know, if somebody reaches out to me and say, hey, you know, I know so-and-so was just diagnosed with, okay, I'm not a doctor, but I'm willing to, you know, talk to them and answer any questions that they may have. I have information a lot of people don't have when I share the information. A lot of people like, we would have never known that. I would have never known that either if I didn't have the doctors that I had. So, it is nothing wrong with, you know, giving, you know, whether it's your time, you know, it's your, you know, given from your heart, or in this case, where like the injustice is just blatant in our faces. Like, we have a right to be outraged. We have a right to be outraged. And like I said, I am thankful and grateful for every attorney that sat on that side with the defense, because they are all awesome. They treated those men with respect, with dignity. And I love how every time they come up to the mic, I love how they give them their respect. Hi, I'm Max Sharp, and I represent, sometimes we may say, the Honorable Shannon Stillwell. Or I represent, we're going to have to get some Sharp smacks. we're going to have to put that on the shirt. Hi, I'm Max Sharp, and I represent Mr. Shannon Stillwell. Same thing with Doug Weinstein. The same way with Steele. The same way with the Silver Fox and his son. Yes. Everybody over there. YSL grandma, that's what we call her. YSL granny was over there. We even had YSL grandpa over there. Everybody that was over there on that side. Miss Williams, Miss Abadi that fought for Lil Rod. And Miss Williams, I watched an interview with her today. She says she's no longer doing criminal cases. This is what has become because of this trial. She doesn't want to do criminal law anymore. So this is her last case. So we can use our platforms if we have one to bring everyone together. We're going to have to unite like nobody's business in these years that are coming up. And just, be a little more kind to people, regardless to what people choose. Everybody can't be the same, but we can all agree to disagree and still stay in a respectful place. Nobody can tell you how you feel. Nobody can tell you who to vote for. Nobody can tell you how to live your personal life. Because it's going to come, I'm going to bring it right back to why we are all a united front right now. And that is because these men are incarcerated. And yes, they may have broke the law and they should have charged them accordingly. But because you wanted a big fish is what they called it. It's not my words. It was in the interrogation videos. I think it was Gaither. She wanted the big fish. They wanted Jeffrey Williams, professionally known as Young Thug. And another thing. Can y'all return this man's watch, please? Y'all didn't lose that man's watch. That's a $300,000 to $500,000 watch. Where is Mr. Williams' watch? You cannot say you don't have anything to prove that he purchased his vehicles, his jewelry and everything legitimately with money that he makes because he is an artist. Get that man back his stuff. Y'all trying to keep his property over there because you know that the watch is missing. Where is it? I love when Weinstein come up to the podium because I know he's about to ask about that watch. he might not ask about anything else, but Weinstein come up, hey, hello. Yeah, I want to ask you about a watch, in this picture. Have you seen this before? Did you see this picture before? So if the watch is missing, and the cops took it, do you think that it was stolen? Get him, Weinstein. Somebody got his watch. Who's driving his cars? Why do he have to go? Why do they have to take y'all to civil court to get this man's property back? He is legit, regardless as to whether or not he in a gang or not, or if he was in a gang before. His money, he earns a living. He has businesses. Love, you trying to keep his stuff? I didn't even understand why that came up in that sentencing thing. You had that all ready to go. Oh, well, Your Honor, can you put in the paperwork that we're not returning the property back to Mr. Williams? I still was like, the hell you went. Your Honor, we're going to take care of that in civil court. Love, you trying to get ahead of the fact. Which one of y'all men y'all gave it to? Who got the watch? Let us know. We want to know. The people want to know. Where's Jeffrey's watch? All right, y'all. I'm done cutting up and acting a fool. This is supposed to be me and Empress Fox today. She was having a little difficulty, so we didn't get to chop it up. I don't know what's going on in the universe. They don't want us to get together and have meaningful conversation. But I enjoyed Courtney in the comments today. And to my April, stop by just to show your girl a little love. Thank you for the 5. Thank you for the 5. Thank you. And so, it wouldn't be me if I didn't end my show the same way that I always end it. And that is to tell you to make sure that you are getting your mammograms. Make sure that you're feeling your boobies, to make sure that you are all right. All right. And another thing that I need to tell you guys, men get breast cancer too. The ribbon is pink. Sometimes it's pink and blue. Women get breast cancer, but men get breast cancer too. If we understand that the word breast is all you associated with a woman, as soon as you hear that word, but okay, for the men, I got something else for y'all. We can call it peck or chest cancer, if that makes you feel better. But if you are a man and you are feeling something in your peck or chest area that does not feel right, please exit stage left, go to your doctor. Tell them to please check you to make sure that you don't have breast cancer. And that has been what I have been, educating about this year. I wanted to make it more where I'm talking to the men to let them know that they get breast cancer too. And we have coined the term now, peck and chest cancer, but you get breast cancer too. I want you to take care of yourself. It's not nothing that I just heard. I know of a male in my family that, he had breast cancer 2 times. And so it's definitely a thing. And then I just saw I don't want to call it an ad, but it was it's a story about a young man who had breast cancer, and so they had to remove everything that was under the skin and everything else. So he took a picture and he shows like his scars. And so that's what I'm pushing out there this year, you guys. Like, on a serious note, like sometimes like I like to laugh and see the light and everything, but I seriously would like you guys to really keep in your mind that you guys can get breast cancer as well. Okay. And so get your mammograms for your boobies. Make sure you're all right. And don't you ever let anyone come in your house and disturb the peace that passes all understanding. I am Survivor Speaks, and I will see you guys in the next video, live, upload, whatever. Come holla at your girl. Peace. Thank you, Empress.
Full cycle, I just might though just like a Michael. Mama gone now, I'm thinking death is now we entitled. And it was me versus me, them battles had to fight through. And when you way in the dark, them demons try to fight you. But you can't let them when you gotta see the damn light. Diabetes came from nowhere, messed up whole life. That's what I used to think, my mama helped me out. I got one there in the sky to make proud, don't count me out. Let's get it started, rest in peace my mama, I don't wanna talk. Fresh fit, who that little nigga, fresh the way he walk. New drip, I'm that one dude creating all the sauce. News flip,